Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Noni Madueke. It is a deal done. Now, club-to-club contacts will begin very shortly. Chelsea and Arsenal are very relaxed. They have a very good working relationship, and the two clubs believe a deal will be done this summer for Noni Madueke to cross over to Arsenal. The problem with that is that David Onstein is saying that Arsenal really look at Noni Madueke as a player that they could use to strengthen on the right-hand side. Don't have a problem with that. The problem comes with the next statement. They're also looking at him as a player that can strengthen on the left-hand side. We'll be talking into that. Chelsea are looking to sign Ethan Nwaneri. Now, Arsenal, like I said yesterday, talks were reaching a very delicate situation, a very delicate stage with Ethan Nwaneri, who wants more game time, but is looking at Eze and Madueke arrivals as players that are essentially going to start ahead of him. Now, Arsenal are telling Nwaneri, we see you as a new as a number 10, as a number 8. You're not a right winger, you are a number 10, and you're gonna get a lot of game time, you're going to play more, but at the moment we need you to sign that deal. Nwaneri is still very skeptical with his camp. We'll talk about Rodrigo. He's been dropped again, and sources are saying that he's very, very frustrated with what is going on at Real Madrid, especially with Xabi Alonso. And of course, we'll discuss whether Noni Madueke is such a very good signing for us to balance the right-hand side and the left-hand side as well. Is Noni Madueke the upgrade we need in terms of a left winger? Okay. I mean, let's talk into it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. I want your thoughts on Noni Madueke's, arrival as a left winger, because the player wants to play on the left. We understand on the right. We understand that he's predominantly played on the right, and even on the right hand side, where he's proven he's not given us anything, right? For us to say, wow, we are excited about the signing of Noni Madueke, and I am now concerned with the direction of travel of the transfer window at Arsenal. Like, the centre forward deals have just become too difficult. All of a sudden, we have just, downgraded so much in many areas on the pitch, and I didn't expect this. Think about this. Arsenal wanted to sign Joan Garcia, top goalkeeper, very young, big future. He's one of the goalkeepers in Europe that, your team wants to have in their, as part of their team. And we didn't get him, and we got Kepa. And I personally said, it's all right. We just need a second goalkeeper. He's experienced, got a lot of pedigree. That is okay. I was willing to compromise. Then Partey leaves. Obviously, we know what has happened with Partey. It's not the fault of the club. It's not the fault of the player. Life gets in the way. Life happens, right? And then we bring in Martin Zubimendi. Zubimendi, to be honest with you, if you ask me, in terms of Premier League readiness, is a little bit of a downgrade from Partey to Zubimendi. And then Christian Nogard is a downgrade from Jorginho to Nogard. That's another downgrade. I am now concerned about the direction of travel in this window, because if they want to bring in Madueke, and Madueke is seen as competition for Saka and competition for Martinelli, that is not an improved window. I'm sorry, that is not an improved window. The only two improvements would be Eberechi Eze, who comes in to replace Vieira, and then either a Gyökeres or Šeško, who comes in to replace Kai Havertz. But apart from that, I kind of feel like our market is becoming misguided. It's like a train that has been on its trail, right? I don't know how the road of a train is called, really. Track, right? Is it called a railway? Yeah, but the rail tracks, right? It's on its rail tracks. And that's how Arsenal started their window. We were on the right rail tracks. And then all of a sudden, we start hearing these, grumblings and bumps. And we're like, okay, maybe it's just it's just going to last a few minutes. It will become right. And now we have to live with the grumblings. I am not sure our transfer window is going in the right direction. And it's true. The transfer window has just begun. Like, we are on the 5th day. Is it 5th or 6th? 5th day of July. So there is a lot of time for Arsenal to make this right. There's a lot of time for Arsenal to get this right. But Madueke coming in, for me, he shouldn't be considered as a left-wing option. Otherwise, then the upgrade that we've been looking for is definitely not happening. And what actually is worrying me here with Madueke is, if you sign a 50 million left winger, right? If you sign a 50 million right winger, let's say, or a 50 million wide attacker, are you really going to convince us that Arsenal are signing a player for 50 million and that player is just going to provide competition for Saka? Now, for a club like Chelsea, that happens. For a club like Manchester United, they've done that before. For a club like City, they've got Grealish, 100 million, lousing around. But for Arsenal, when we hit that 50 million mark or 40 million mark, you know that player is absolutely going to be starting games at the club. So I don't want to be fooled the way I was fooled, a couple of years ago. This Arsenal team are playing, are paying this money for Madueke. They're trying to sign Madueke in order for him to play. That is the truth. And I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to lie to myself, right? That, Madueke is just the player that, this and that. If Mikel Arteta invests 50 million in Madueke, Madueke will play. That is the truth. He will play. And anyone who gets disappointed will get disappointed, right? But I can see him even start ahead of Gabriel Martinelli. And I can see him start ahead of Leandro Trossard. I can see Mikel Arteta tell this guy, you can be a left winger. You can come at Arsenal and be a left winger and be the upgrade that we need to Gabriel Martinelli. That is because the Rodrigo deal could take some time. Anthony Gordon, not happening in my opinion. And, your boy Williams has signed a 10-year deal. So the left-wing voices are slowly but surely dying down. We are being told that Madueke is going to be signing as a right winger. But for 50 million, Arsenal are willing to do that. Well, if we do that, if Arsenal sign a left winger and Madueke and Eze, we have graduated as a team. But I don't want to lie to myself. I think this Arsenal team is orchestrating something like, oh, we ended up with Madueke. And that is what happened with Raheem Sterling last summer, right? And now that makes me hate this deal altogether. Because if Arsenal are looking to strengthen with Madueke, it makes no sense for Arsenal to finish 2 years in a row. We finished 2 years in three. Actually, we finished second 3 years in a row. And then we go to Chelsea. We get a player that they're upgrading on for us to strengthen. In which world does that work? Like, in which world do Arsenal go? There is a Langa who is really in form, could cost 50 million. If you want a good wide attacker, why didn't we go for Nottingham Forest? Why are we going to Chelsea and telling them, you guys have upgraded. You've got Jamie Gittens, brilliant player. You've got now João Pedro, brilliant player. And you also have Pedro Neto, brilliant player. To be honest, Arsenal were interested in all three of the attackers Chelsea have. We were interested in Pedro Neto, remember? We're interested in João Pedro, remember? We were interested as well in Jamie Gittens. So Chelsea have upgraded from these ridiculous Sanchos and Mikhailo Mudryks and Maduekes. They have upgraded and they're saying, where do we throw this? It's like they are looking for a dustbin and Arsenal are there opening their bellies. For me, this becomes a bad deal, honestly. It becomes a bad deal right away. If he was signing as a right wing option, I wouldn't mind. You know what? I wouldn't mind. Why? Because Saka is always going to play. He's one of his best abilities. Saka is availability. He's always available, right? But if you're telling them that Madueke is coming in also to occupy on the left hand side, that's when I start asking myself serious questions, right? Serious questions. Are Arsenal doing the right thing? Is this the right thing for us to do? To go and sign Noni Madueke from Chelsea. Anyway, personal terms have been agreed. The two clubs have a very good relationship. I don't remember Arsenal trying to sign a player from Chelsea and it failed. Apart from maybe Romelu Lukaku, maybe, right? And I want you to think about this. Chelsea refused to give us Lukaku on loan when we signed Mesut Ozil, and Chelsea's excuse were they are our competitors. And Chelsea have done a successful job of making Arsenal a dumping ground and making us weak every single fucking season. And Arsenal just opened their legs to this Chelsea team every single time. It's kind of frustrating for me. Now, Ethan Nwaneri is wanted by Chelsea. This makes it even worse. So Chelsea are looking at Ethan Nwaneri. They're looking to sign him if Arsenal fail to agree a deal with Nwaneri's representatives. Now, I told you yesterday, and a few people were actually speaking rubbish in my comment section, but I just said, let me just ignore these idiots. I told you yesterday that Ethan Nwaneri was actually concerned about his game time at Arsenal. Remember, Nwaneri is one of the players that had really picked form, but then when Saka came back, Mikel Arteta didn't play him again. And now we are being told that Arsenal have given Ethan Nwaneri assurances that he will play because the manager looks at him as a midfielder rather than a right winger. Is Mikel Arteta smoking some pipe that is highly addictive but affects any mental parts of your brain? Because Mikel Arteta had one of the worst seasons out of Martin Odegaard. He didn't give Nwaneri a chance as a number 10. Saka gets injured, Nwaneri is given a chance as a right winger, and he does well. And now, as signing Madueke, and they're signing Eze, and now they're trying to tell Nwaneri, you will play, right? You will play. Players are not fools. He's looking at Lewis Kelly, by the way. He's looking at Lewis Kelly, and it's like, I was here before this guy. And this guy has got more opportunities than I. In a season where we should have equal opportunities, because Odegaard got injured, I didn't get the opportunity, right? And it's true, Nwaneri didn't get the opportunity when Odegaard got injured. And now Ornstein is saying, they look at him as a number 8 or stroke number 10. If they look at him as a number 8 stroke number 10, why did he play last season? Why didn't he step in to help out last season? Why didn't Mikel Arteta give him the minutes? You know why he didn't give him the minutes? He didn't give him the minutes because I think he doesn't think that he's ready. That's the truth. And if Nwaneri goes to Chelsea and Arsenal instead sign who? Madueke. Like, is that even a swap that we should be talking about? Is this a conversation of a swap that I should be reporting about? Madueke in, Nwaneri out, and you know, Chelsea have got very, very good eyes for talent. Remember when they took Omar Hutchinson from Arsenal? They took Omar Hutchinson and sold him to Ipswich, and they made good money. They're gonna do the same with Nwaneri. Nwaneri might not play because there is Cole Palmer, right? But if Arsenal cannot convince Nwaneri to stay in a squad that has 2 number 10s, Odegaard and Eze, and Chelsea convince him to go in a squad that has 1 billion players that have been signed in the last 2-3 years, that's when I'll know Chelsea are our masters, they own us in the transfer window. That's when I'll know. Because they took Mata, we were trying to do that deal. They took Mikhail Modric. Yes, it didn't turn out well, but they took that deal. We were also trying to do the deal as well. So, I don't know, but Nwaneri is concerned. And is right to be concerned. Now, Rodrigo was dropped again, and, his entourage are furious. But I even look at this Rodrigo deal and I'm like, I asked them really serious about this deal. Like, what if Madrid said, bring 77 million right now? Would Arsenal really do that deal? Or are we threatening and, shaking until Madrid are like, okay, bring money. And then we run away. It kind of feels like that. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Passionate times agreed with Nwaneri. We shall be doing the weekly roundup where we talk about the biggest deals that have happened in the week. And of course, a lot of stories to discuss as well.